teams from last week. At number 5, we got the Bills. Number 4, the Packers. 3, the Saints. 2, the Chiefs in the top spot. And with 2 of the top 5 losing this weekend, who's in and who is out? Time for Steven's A-List.
Yeah, that's right. It's time for the A-List. I was gonna get at my brother Marcus Spears, but damn it, that Jeff Saturday is good enough too. I can't have my A-List without hearing from Jeff Saturday acknowledging the greatness of WA. Are you listening, Jeff Saturday? Do you hear me, Jeff Saturday? Let's go to number 5 on the list right now. Give it to me. The Seattle Seahawks in the house. Why? They've got a top 3 offense. That's why. They've got Russell Wilson. That's why. Last time I checked, they still got DK Metcalf. They still got Tyler Lockett. They got Carson back running the football. Jamal Adams is back in the lineup. Dunlap has helped buffer their defense as well. They're a top 5 team in the league. I know they won last week. That was a bye week basically because they were going against the hapless Jets. But hell, they handled their business the way that they were supposed to. They're a top 5 team in the league. Let's go to number 4 on the list. Give it to me. The New Orleans Saints. They've dropped on my list. Why? It's obvious. Why? Taysom Hill doesn't look the same. It looks like the Saints are calling for Drew Brees. And oh, by the way, you lost to the Philadelphia Eagles with a rookie quarterback in Jalen Hurts. Last time we paid attention to him, he wasn't good enough to hold the starting job for Alabama, so he had to transfer to Oklahoma. We know he's a stud athlete, but we didn't know about his throwing ability, but he looked pretty damn good against the Saints this past week. That was a loss the Saints shouldn't have had, but they have it. They drop on my list. Let's go to number 3 on the list. Give it to me. The Buffalo Bills. Why? Because Josh Allen is doing his thing, y'all. That defense showed up when it counted. The Buffalo Bills look like a complete team. Sean McDermott is proven to be a hell of a coach. They're running the football. They're throwing the football. Stephon Diggs is that dude, and their defense ain't too shabby. They're going to win the AFC East. They might be the threat to the Chiefs, even though Cleveland, I'm watching how they're running the football. We'll see. But the Buffalo Bills deserve my props. Not as much as this next team. That's number 2 on my list, though. Give it to me. The Green Bay Packers. Why? It's very, very simple. I can point to Valdez-Scantling. I can point to Devontae Adams. I can even point to Matt LaFleur, who doesn't like me when I say LaFleur. I can point to all of those things. But here's the reason why they're the number 2 team in the NFL right now. Because they got a quarterback who's a bad man. Whoa! Aaron Rodgers. That's why they're number 2 on the list. But they're not number 1. We all know who's number 1. It's the reigning, defending Super Bowl champion, Kansas City Chiefs, Patrick Mahomes. Do you see Travis Kelce cementing his status as the number 1 tight end in football, a future Hall of Famer, a stud, my brother from another mother? Plus, you've got Tyreek Hill being arguably the best wide receiver in football, Andy Reid, Eric Bieniemy, and a defense that shows up when it counts. Believe it or not, and with Tyrann Mathieu, the Honey Badger. Nevertheless, it is what it is. The Kansas City Chiefs are in a class by themselves. The Steelers are out of my top 5. It's unacceptable what I've been seeing from them. I've got the Chiefs at number 1, the Packers at number 2, the Bills at number 3, okay? The Saints at number 4, and the Seattle Seahawks at number 5. My top 5 teams in the NFL for this week. Remember, the list is fluid.
Well, last week you had your first Stevens A+ list of the season. Last week you got an A+.
Well, I got both of them here,
in order. The week before you had a Stevens A list because you got them in order, but you could have made an argument for the last one. This is a Stevens B list. 1 and 2, the Chiefs and the Packers, to me, are easy. How do you have Seattle in there right now over the Rams, Stephen A? The Rams in their last, 5 games now, have 1 loss by a field goal to a divisional rival. Otherwise, they've beaten Seattle. They've beaten Arizona. They've beaten New England. There's another team in there that's pretty good that I'm forgetting that the Rams also beat. The Rams are 4-1 in their last 5 with a win over Seattle. You know what Seattle is? You put them on the list because they beat up the Jets. It's the worst, literally the worst team in football. But they couldn't even do a 2-step through the New York teams without taking an L against the Giants. So the Rams got to be in the top 5 over Seattle. Otherwise, the list is good.
Go ahead, Jeff.
I'm gonna agree with Mac. I'm gonna agree with Max. This is a B. Listen, the Chiefs and the Packers, it's like a blind squirrel. Come on, Stephen A. Like, don't prop yourself up and beat on your chest about those two. I mean, it's almost default at this point with that one. But with 3 with the Bills, I can get there. I'm with Max, so I would put the LA Rams up in that 3-ish range. I'm jumping even the Saints with the Rams. When you talk about the Rams, they're the number 2 team on third downs. They get off the least explosive plays against their defense. And since the 2015 Broncos, they give up the fewest yards per average play. That's saying something. By the way, that team won the Super Bowl in 2015 with the Broncos. So how you're missing out on them? They ran the ball effectively. You put the Seahawks up in there. A bad defense. A bad defense. How are we going to put them up? Where are they jumping up? Again, Saints deserve to go down, but you miss completely. That is a Nolan Ryan. You know what that is? No hitter when you don't put the Rams up in your top 5, Stephen A.
I feel like I need to. I feel like I need to let him speak because he done got beat up, and all I'm gonna do is beat him up some more. No. So I feel like you need to say something in your defense. I told you was off your game this morning. You are fooling around on First Take. Matter of fact, they should have called me and let me do the show with Max because you on some bull jive this morning with this A-list. And then I heard you talking about Lamar Jackson in the game against Cleveland. And then we talk about Mike McCarthy. You are off your game today. Let me tell you something. First of all, I have no issue with Green Bay being number 2. It's just on my list. That would be the Buffalo Bills. And then when you talk about the Los Angeles Rams, like Max and Jeff just mentioned, who did the Buffalo Bills beat? The Los Angeles Rams. Who did the Green Bay Packers beat? They beat the Saints. And if you're talking about the Saints with Drew Brees, I can get with you leaving them in the top 5. If you're talking about them with Taysom Hill, they damn sure ain't in there. And the Seattle Seahawks, listen, we know about the defense, but I could almost envision that with Russell Wilson and the opportunity that they have offensively and getting into the playoffs when you're talking about one game for 3 hours that need a win or who you're betting your chips on. I understand that. But, dude, you off your game. You should have called me. You know what it is? We ain't text each other this week. We haven't talked on the phone.
Let me tell you something.
We ain't went crazy on each other. You off your game this morning, bro.
Help them.
And let me tell you something. Let me tell you something right now, Marcus Spears. Let me tell you something right now, Jeff Saturday, and especially you too, Max, but especially you, Spears, and Jeff Saturday. Y'all hear it? Are y'all listening to me? Yeah, y'all got me. Y'all got me. Y'all got me. Y'all got me. Max brought up the Rams, right? Max brought up the Rams, and I went like this. Damn, he got me. And then Jeff coupled that off and said, I might move them up a shot, and I went like this. Damn, that's a good point, you know. And then Marcus was like, I said, oh, damn. Y'all got me. All right. I'm going to eat it. I believe I got 1 through 4. But y'all got me. Rams should be in there instead of Seattle. All right. I'm going to give it to y'all this week. I'm going to give it to by the way, I'm coming for all of y'all. Y'all got me this week. I'm coming for all of y'all for the rest of the year. Y'all done started something. Spears, you know how Martin said, Martin said B to B? You done started something? Y'all done started something. All right. You got me today. They got me.
I don't know what's happening on First Take. A lot of Stephen A. and Max admitting they're wrong lately. I don't even know who either of you are anymore. Marcus, Jeff, always